name is Keith Andrew, the talk show host of a learning disability. This is episode 1184. That's right, over 1184 episodes available on YouTube. If you're watching, make sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And once we reach the goal of 500 views, we will definitely do a part two. So with that being said, the first subject we're going to talk about is icebreakers. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself.
All right. Thank you for having me on your show. First and foremost, I appreciate it. The honor. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on here. My name is Ken Gilbert. I'm the owner, CEO, and founder of Seven Crazy Cat Studios, located here and based out of Jacksonville, Florida. Um, I'm a two-time Army war vet. Went to Iraq twice. I've been in the Army for 8 years. I see the salute. And then, I came back to Florida after having my stint in the Army. Came back from Florida to Florida after the active duty service, and continued my Army service, in the Florida Reserves. And then from there, I got out, and now I follow my passion of being a filmmaker, a producer. So this is where we're at now.
Well, first off, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
And I would love to work with you if that's possible.
Oh, most definitely. Yes, sir.
You know, it's funny you should mention that you were in the Army. I interviewed a lot of people in the Army, and I've been playing with this idea of doing an Army Marine episode, and it would really mean a lot if I can have you a part of that.
I will absolutely love it. It'll be an honor.
If you don't mind me for asking, was your father in the Army or grandfather? I would like to know a little more about that.
Oh yes, all pretty much all my family has been in the military. It's either been Marine Corps or the Army. So it's either been going to the Army or the Marine Corps. And my father was been in the Army. And my grandfather, my mom's father, was in the Army. I have countless of cousins that have been in both Army and Marine Corps. So that's where we stand. We're just a military family all the way around.
No, we have that in common. My grandfather served during World War II. He was
Nice,
stationed in northern Italy,
nice.
and he was somewhere else too. But I just remember it's been a long time. I haven't really talked about it, but I remember northern Italy, and his father. I found out recently actually served in World War One.
Oh, nice. That's wow. That's taking it back there.
So when you came out of the army, did you see life in a different point of view versus when you first went into the army?
Oh, very much so. Yes, sir. Before I went into the army, I was very soft spoken, very gentle, quiet, scared, timid and shy. But then when I went into the army and when I came out of the army, I was a totally different person. I mean, for the better, of course. I was able to stand up for myself a little bit more. I've been through some things to get me to understand life a little bit better. So yes, it was and being that in the civilian world, it was really after being in the army and going into the civilian world, it was very eye opening because it was totally different. It was like, okay, this is how we do things. Like this is how I couldn't relate to a lot of people. So trying to work at a job where nobody really understood, you know, the way you talk, they talk different than when we talk in the army and the military. So it was a very different experience.
Was there like if you don't want to talk about the army, we don't have to, but I am
No,
curious.
you're fine.
Was there a moment where it just struck, say, you know what, this is what I want to do? Because you mentioned your family was in served in the army. Was
Hmm.
it because of September 11th? Was it a exact moment that triggered and said, you know what, screw everything. I don't want to work 9 to 5. I want to do this.
Well, to be honest, when I first thought about going to the military, I wanted to go to the Air Force, but my mom went to the Army recruiter. I went to the Army recruiter, and I did like a lot of things they were talking about. So I went to join. This is back in 2006, so September 11th even happened yet. This is literally the same year I graduated high school and worked at Blockbuster. I'm showing my age, I know.
I'm 37, if that makes you feel better.
Oh yeah, I'll be 37 this year too, so don't feel. So no, it was just that I didn't want to be in my hometown. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to travel, and I also wanted to get money, so get capital, so I can start my own, like start to do buy screenwriting software. That was the main reason, really. One of the main reasons why I did it, so I can fund my screenwriting habits, and also, I mean, also to serve the country and go do other things, but also to write movies and be able to have money to write movies.
No, absolutely. It's funny we have that in common. Well, you mentioned you got out of high school in 2006.
Yes, I graduated in 2006.
Oh,
I
same
worked at
year.
Yes, I worked at Blockbuster, and then I went into the Army that same year.
Oh, nice. It's funny. I remember when Netflix first came out and we
Yes,
got this envelope in the mail. It's like, what the hell is this? Netflix? I can just go to Blockbuster. But now it's a complete game changer. It's amazing. And next year will be 20 years for both of us. It's amazing how far it came in 20 years.
that is true. Because if you think about it, Netflix was, I remember when you had the one DVD, or you can upgrade to get the two DVDs, and you can turn them in, and you get the other two DVDs back. And then now it's a whole streaming service. So whenever I found out about Netflix, I'm like, whoa, I can get a movie on Netflix. Oh, that'd be great. So I can just, get some money in the army, serve, and save up, which really didn't happen, and buy some screenwriting software, and I can get a movie on Netflix. But then I really didn't know how production worked back then. So, I'm just living life. And plus, the army kept me plenty busy. So I really didn't get a chance to do what I wanted to until after the years after the army. So this is where I'm at now.
To be honest, there's absolutely no, and a lot of people think I'm a freaking idiot for this, but it's uncensored. We can say whatever we want. A lot of people say I'm a fucking idiot for this, but there was no reason for Blockbuster to go out of business. And I
You
get,
know,
oh, go ahead.
no, 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 no. I was agreeing with you. Blockbuster should never went out of business.
And the reason for that is the game prices now, and we can talk about the economy later if you want, or whatever you want to do. And it's the game prices when we were kids, now I feel old, the games are like $59 or 49. Now they're almost what, $80? So I give you an example. You pre-order a game, and yes, I wear filter glasses because I blink too damn much. But also they look cool. I get to
Yeah,
that
they
second.
do.
But now it's like $80 a game. And I'm like, oh, well, this is really cool. I can't wait to get it. You get it, and the game's a complete piece of shit. So you wasted $80. Where versus you could have went to Blockbuster or Free C Video or whatever place. You get $15, maybe $10, $15. You rent it. Okay, this is a good game. Not a big deal. Movies, okay, I understand it's easy, click a button. But for games, and they got rid of demos. They don't even have demos anymore. It's kind of like
Oh, they do.
every,
They have demos still.
well, what system do you have?
A PS5.
Oh, nice. I haven't played video games in a long time. It just, but I mean, like, well, at least they still have demos. But it's just the fact you're paying $80 and you're hoping versus where you can go in, rent a couple games, and then return it. Of course, yeah, you probably think this is funny. My dad used to get in arguments with people at Blockbuster. It's like, oh, you have a late fee. What do you mean? I just returned the thing yesterday. Oh, it says in our system, no a late fee. It's like, oh, so we didn't
Yes.
have your. I wanted WWF Raw. Oh, this is a very popular game. You can get something else, but oh no, my son really wants the game. It's like, did you guys do that on purpose with the late fees just to screw those people?
No, no, because there would be some people that actually would come in and Well, they'll come in, they'll rent the game, rent the movie or whatever, and then they will leave, and you'll never see them again.
Right.
And it's like, hey, I remember having to making phone calls. Hey, or I remember a couple of my managers made phone calls like, hey, you need to bring your game back, or hey, bring the movie back. So yes, trust me, I've I've seen that a couple of quite times.
Well, do you have any funny story? Well, this is the good part. Next segment, we're going to talk about funny stories, especially working in retail. Well, has there
Oh
been
man,
any moments where you're like kind of like that WTF moment?
I can't tell you how many times that has happened. Like even in my current job right now, I work at a battery store, and I get some people that come in and just be like, just when they leave, it's just like a sigh of relief. Like, don't come back, please don't come back.
Here, I
Oh
get the door for you.
man, yeah, like here, I'll even open your car door. There you go. Because it's been times where I just really just wanted to just say, just leave. Or I worked at Walmart when I first got out of the army. That was really tough. That was really, really tough because it was like I was not even fully adjusted yet to civilian life. So I had to go from the army to civilian life, and it was like, oh no, no, this can't be happening. Like, no, this can't be happening. No, I almost wanted to go back full time, but then I was like, no, I don't want to go back in the army, so I'm good. There was one time where this guy comes into Walmart and comes in and he says, "Sir, how can I help you?" Using the insecticide section, and I said, "Sir, how can I help you? You look kind of confused." He's like, "Well, you know how to kill a cat?" I'm like, "Whoa, hey!" And he was like, the cat kept getting into his boat, messing up his electronics. So I was trying to give him alternative ways to do that, and he still wasn't having it. So I was like, okay. And I remember working at Walmart, a customer was saying some nasty things about me. I
Well,
just,
freedom of speech, you can share it
oh, you just,
if you want
you
to.
just, yeah, he was just, just saying some derogatory
Yeah.
terms just because I was laughing at him because he was cussing. I'm like, you come down the aisle cussing, and for no reason, everybody's having a good day down the aisle. You come down cussing, and I'm laughing at you. Then you make some derogatory slurs, and I'm like, what, really? And it was just like I just laughed at him. And he just went his way, and I was like, yeah.
That shit doesn't work on me. If just one person came on my line and threw a bag of Doritos at me, I rung it up. I throw it back right at him. It's like, hey, you puss on me, I'm gonna puss right back. I don't care how
There
big
you
you are.
go.
If you're tall, just one guy came on my line. I was like this. Huh? Okay, you're pretty
Yeah.
tall. Get my ass kicked, but and he's just walking down at me, and I'm like, yeah, can we just move this along because but I may be small. I'm 5'8", but I'm like Daniel. Are you a professional wrestling fan?
Oh man, I'm the professional wrestling fan from the Attitude Era. That was the Attitude Era, and before that, that was my favorite eras. Now, I like it, but it's not like the old Shawn Michaels
Right.
versus, Stone Cold Steve Austin, or it's not Bret Hart versus Stone Cold at Survivor Series. It's not Mankind versus Kane. It doesn't. They don't have wrestling like they used to.
Well, there's AEW, but I don't think Tony Khan knows what the hell he's doing. Now I better say that he's not going to hire me, but but it's true. I mean, NXT wrote. Let me go back, rewind for a second. I'm only 5'8", so I'm like Daniel Bryan. I may be small, but I'm like a pit bull. So you can knock me down, I will get back up. But answer the question about wrestling. When NXT first started, it was great. It caught your
It
attention
was.
because it was different. Now they copy Raw. When Raw went to Netflix, oh, they're bringing back 14. It's got to be on. well, not really uncensored, but you would think on Netflix, uncensored, like Suits, one of my favorite shows. And then later on, they said, you dropped the F bomb here, what the fuck, all that stuff. So it's Netflix. It's the same damn thing. Nothing changed. In Raw and SmackDown, it's just copy and paste. It's like, can you bring back 2002? Can you bring back 2003? Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Continue.
There's if you look, go to YouTube and type in WWE production music, and they will use music. I can send it to you afterwards. Some of these songs are really good. They use it from Warner Brothers, and they use it from like Die Hard and Independence Day, and all these other hit movies, like WrestleMania 12, that orchestrated music, where
Yes.
like you hear the countdown, you hear the and
Yep.
it's like really cool. And it's like, why can't they just bring it back? It's, I don't know, it's just stupid after all, to be honest. It's like, what works and what doesn't. I get it. You don't want to be associated with Vince McMahon, even though he's the devil. Yeah, but I like Vince McMahon.
I do too. Well, the thing about it is, everything is not like it used to be. Movies, TV, we were just talking about this earlier. Movies nowadays are just copy and paste, and not just copy and paste, but it's the reboot of this. It's the sequel or trilogy or 19th film of this series, and it's like let's revamp this or revamp that. It's like there's no more fresh Hollywood. But see, and they don't want the independent filmmakers to come and try to freshen things out. They want to keep it the same. So, but it's not the same. So, I think even TV shows, it's the same thing. It's the lawyer courtroom TV show. What's that show? Kathy Bates doing Matlock now. I said, really? Come on, you can't,
It's
you
like,
can't. Huh? Go ahead.
oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say real fast, just like Suits, I lost it from 2013. And they're like, okay, we're gonna do it again. Same writer, same everything. You watch it, okay. You have Green Arrow, Steve, whatever the fuck his name is,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, he's all right, but I don't, copy and paste, copy and paste. And I don't know, not to interrupt, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and that's what us indie or independent filmmakers are trying to do is, and producers, we're trying to come out with, wanting to come out with fresh and new ideas. And even though some of it it's still like the same thing Hollywood's done, but in my studio, my production company, it's everybody is diverse as far as it's not like, okay, there's going to be the Italian Godfather is going to play the Godfather. Well, I'm gonna have an Asian woman play the boss. I'm gonna have that happen, or I'm going to have, I don't know, just different tropes that goes against society's norms,
Right.
and that's what I'm going to do. But in doing it in a tasteful and a nice way. So that's what I can't wait to get it out there and have the vision that I have and just put it out there.
We're definitely got to do a part two because I love talking to you. And I can't
Yes,
see your
sir.
ass or anything. I'm just being completely honest.
No, man, you're doing great. I love this. This is awesome. I've been wanting to always have an interview. This is amazing.
So the next one, well, funny story that I would like to share. I worked at Walmart too.
Oh,
My
nice.
my taxi driver who passed away, he was a fantastic guy.
Oh.
I used him for everything. He would go into the city. He would wait for me. Of course, I had to pay $300. It wasn't free, but
Yeah.
I know he was there for me. So there was this time where my brother went on a trip and he came back, and this is like 2020 when the pandemic first started.
Right.
So I was working at Walmart. So I had everyone thinks it was COVID. They weren't testing at the time. But I was told I have flu A and a stomach virus, a double header. And they're like, well, you keep calling out. We need you to come in. There was this African American guy behind me. Well, before we got to there, I was like, "Can you take over for me? I'm gonna throw up." So I walked to the bathroom, walking out, trying to be big and tough. Until I got to the bathroom, the guy got right behind me. I was like, "Make it to the sink or the stall," and both of them were taken. I grabbed the corner, I turned around, threw up right in the garbage. I can't remember exactly what he ever said, "Oh hell no," or he ever said, "Oh fuck vests. I don't have time for vests." He said one of them, and while my head was in the garbage, I thought it was really funny. But here's the best part: as I was thrown up in the garbage, he walks out, and I didn't mean for that to sound racist. I do apologize.
No, no, you're fine.
And he walks out. It's like, "Yo, I thought you were using the bathroom. You have some crazy ass employee thrown up in the garbage. This place smells like shit. Did they harass you at the doors? Let's go." So, but so what happened after is when I walked out, my manager was standing there, and it's like, "Did you throw up in the garbage? I couldn't make it to the toilet bowl. It's that or the floor."
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
But just the fact he's the expressed and in the timing was really funny. You can't make
Yeah.
this shut up.
That's amazing.
Here's another one. There's this guy who worked in a wheelchair. Worked in a wheelchair. How do you work in a wheelchair? This guy was in a wheelchair, and he
Uh-huh.
got hired. It's like, well, what can he do? Well, we can make you a greeter. So they started to harass him and say, I know you're just sitting here. Hint the fact he's in a fucking wheelchair. I know you're just sitting here, but part of your job description is we need you to change this banner. I'm in a wheelchair, right? And it's so they
Oh,
removed him off door, and the excuse was he refused to do his job duties because he couldn't climb a ladder. He's in a fucking wheelchair.
that's ridiculous.
It's like it's like they tried to force me to go outside and 10 degrees. So Keith, you need push wagons. I have a heart condition. It's not severe, but I have a heart condition. And it's like, Keith, you need to push wagons. I even got a doctor's note. Hey, we're really short on wagons. Can you push one or two? Okay, I can push one or two. No, if you go out there, you need to push 10. Heart condition. It's
Yes,
like,
right. Exactly.
anyway,
That's so crazy.
I bet you have funnier stories that you can outdo me.
Oh man, I can't even. Oof, man, there's so many. I can't even think of one right now. It's it's so many. I can't even think of one just to even start.
You mentioned wrestling. Who were some of your favorite wrestlers? Because I had a lot of them on my show.
Oh man, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Kane, Mankind, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, Ricky Steamboat Dragon, Rikishi and Too Cool. Uh,
Well, I can meet you halfway. I got Lenny Pablo, the brother of the Macho Man Randy Savage, on my show when it
okay,
first started. That was really cool. I would definitely
nice.
send that to you. One of the funny stories was Lenny was talking, and he was in the back in the argument between Randy and his father, and like they were arguing about air conditioning. How his father said it's a luxury. Randy Savage, oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage, need to have that air conditioning, yeah. It's like, but they were arguing, it's a luxury, it's a necessity. Luxury, necessity. Randy says, let me ask you this: do you have windshields? Is that a luxury or a necessity? And Father says, necessity. No, yeah, it's necessity. Randy says, what's the matter? No balls?
That's amazing.
I wish I had him back on my show again, but Lenny Pablo was a fantastic guy, and I'm really happy he got into the Hall of Fame. He really deserved it.
Yes, he did.
And as far as Scott Hall goes, I met him and I missed the opportunity to have him on the show, but I did interview his daughter, though, so at least I got closer on that.
That's awesome.
Right now, I'm chasing Kevin and Kevin Van Nast. Was I? There's no va in Kevin Van Nast.
Yeah, Kevin Nash. He was one of my favorite ones too. Conan, Sting. Um, wow, you took it. Booker T and Stevie Ray, Diamond Dallas Page, Goldberg. That was my era growing up. The 1, 2, 3 kid, X Pac. I mean, all the Triple H, The Rock, back in the day, D'Lo Brown, Mark Henry. Yeah,
I
those were my favorites.
I used to like The Godfather, and my thing
Yes.
is, I don't like paying people, and people are like, well, if I'm going to be on your show, look, if I had sponsors and I have had extra money, yes, of course, but you're not traveling, you're sitting on, your butt for a half hour and you're supporting a talk show host with disabilities. And for our viewers, some of our episodes are PG, PG-13, rated M, no boobs, no breasts or anything. But it's rated M because it's freedom of speech and self-expression.
Hmm.
Because I try to cater to everyone. And people are like, well, you have to pay me. So I'm bribing you. Oh, no, no, we do support people with disabilities, but yet I have to pay you. So Bob Holly and Godfather, Eugene pissed me off too. You remember Eugene?
Yes.
You would think for someone who impersonated someone with mental health, he would be the perfect advocate to be on a show for someone with special needs. He told me $50. I'm like, thank you for your time. Maybe down the road you would change your mind. But it's just, and people like to tell me, you have a strong message. And I'm going to ask you this. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first honest reaction when you shared a message? And what made you say yes? Because people say you have a strong message, but they also like to see how far they can pull you and take advantage of it.
Well, I'm always there to support anybody. If you have a talk show, if whatever you're doing and it's positive, I'm always there to support. So that's what I come in with. So when you gave me the opportunity to be on your show, I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. I would love that. I would love to be on and to be on the show. So I took it, and we had some discrepancies between us because I was at work all day and a couple of days. So it's just everything has just been everything. But I'm glad I'm on the show and supporting you. And I'm here for people of of any with disabilities or anybody that has anything. If you want to talk, just talk. And I'm honored that you picked me to be on your show.
Yeah, absolutely. We can definitely do a part two. I look forward to that.
Yes, we definitely can.
Now, the other question I want to ask you for people who are hesitant about being on my show, what was the exact moment that, you know what, I want to give him an opportunity, and after sitting down with him, he's the real deal. He's not full of shit. Because a lot of people say, well, you say this and you're very sensitive. I am. I'm very sensitive around people with disabilities. And I'm not saying that because I'm a bad person. I have my emotions on my sleeve. And I'm not saying if you sneeze the wrong way, you're going to offend me. It says I'm very sensitive and very cautious around certain things. And
Hmm.
people are like, well, you can't have it both ways. If you're gonna do this, we're gonna make it wonderful. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be fantastic. And it's like, why can't it be both ways? Why can't I say I have a disability, but I'm also sensitive? But my
Right.
question for you is, what made you say yes, and how you feel now, and would you recommend it?
Oh yes, I would do it again. I'm ready to do part 5 if you want to. I mean, and I definitely recommend it. It's a 10/10 I do recommend. because it's an opportunity to talk, and it gives me, and not only, not, don't take this the wrong way, but it helps me get better at speaking, doing the interviews, and I love it. I've been waiting for an opportunity like this to be on the talk show, and I love the fact that you came to me for it, and here we are. And I would definitely recommend this to anyone.
Absolutely. But you can definitely talk about off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. We are
Thank you.
definitely going to do a part two. I know we got sidetracked, but the next one, we're going to talk about more your production company. You have my
Okay.
word. You will be back on the show because I do like you. I'm not kissing your ass or anything. And I don't
No, I
say it to
know.
everyone.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime. By wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege. Our guest for today is a big thank you for you. But our
Thank
goal
you.
is to reach 500 and more views. But definitely stay tuned for part two. By wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. I just want to say thank you very much. So until we meet again, I catch
Yes,
you later.
sir.
Thank you and have a good night.
Supporting me, my message is all that